Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you're here. What I wanted to do today was take a little time to do my long-term review of my version 1 Gen Heckas. Did I just say Gen Heckas? My Gen 1 Hogue Dekas. Duh. Sometimes my tongue doesn't stay attached to my head. But what would help is if you guys would real quickly hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon down there. Bell notification icon will let YouTube know you're a human, not a bot, and it'll really help the channel. So what I wanted to do today is kind of share with you my impressions of the Hogue Deka. I don't have a Hogue Deka version 1. I don't have a Hogue Deka version 2. I have the Hogue Deka version 1, which is designated by these extra body screws, where Hogue was able to, in the version 2, minimize that screw coverage. But the version 1, to me, operates almost identically. These both came with black G10 scales. One of them is the drop point, and the other is the Wharncliffe or the Wharncliffe. Elishewitz Designs CPM 20V. I picked these knives up when they were on sale for, I want to say, $119 each. Then I let them go for, since last Blade Show, I donated them to Original Goat to let them use them to make templates for Original Goat scales for Gen 1 Hogue Dekas. Original Goat's killing it, guys. They are doing scales for the Hogue Dekas. They're doing scales for the Ritter Hogue RSKs. They're doing scales for the Mannix 2. They're doing scales for several Demko knives. And they're doing scales for the 8010, the 8015. Just the list goes on. And I talked to Marty and said, look, I've got a couple of Gen 1 Hogue Dekas. I know a lot of people have Gen 1s. Do you think you could sell scales? Would it make sense? And he said, we'd take a look at them, sure. So I sent them to him, not expecting them to come back with scales for one, but just wanting them to get some R&D out of the knives. And he let me know at the Blade Show this year that they were getting ready to come back. And I was just blown away that they came without their black scales. They came with this nice set of titanium brush scales and these aluminum Cerakoted with diamond pattern and sparkle finish on them, which are just awesome. So we will pretend they have regular scales on them, and we will talk about them as the knives that they are. So just to make this easy, we'll take it one knife at a time, and we'll just show the similarities. The sizes are going to be identical. The blade is going to be different. The way that it cuts is going to be different. And that'll be fun because I have not put these knives on a stone or on a strop in over a year. Hogues come so sharp from the factory, and they're 20 CV. Very slicey. Guys, I was a fan of the Deka kind of over the bug out. The blade shapes talked to me. At the time, I was, I had several bug outs, several different configurations of bug outs, many bug outs. And I thought the Hogue was kind of a breath of fresh air. You got 20 CV, you got, pretty decent heat treat. You got this really cool compound grind Wharncliffe option, and then you got this clip point / drop point. I really liked it. I didn't necessarily like the look or the feel of the knife because it felt like the bug out, as I said, used to feel, because by this time I'd modded my bug out. I think it was wearing carbon fiber scales or maybe aluminum scales at that time. But the Hogue Deka is very similar, a lot of people say, and for good reason. Size, weight, what its position in the market is from a small everyday carry knife, the Hogue Deka does it well. It's made in the USA, like the Benchmade Bug Out. It uses an axis style lock or bar lock, like the Bug Out. It's thin, like the Bug Out. It is really Hogue's answer and raise of the Bug Out, because they came out with a knife which I feel had better steel, had better edges, had a couple of different variations with the drop point and the sheep's foot or the Wharncliffe. Um, just just great selections. And the one I carry most is the Wharncliffe. I use it for just about everything. I think it's a great work knife. I think the sharpening choils on both of these knives are done exceptionally well. You've got jimping, which is interesting here. You would have jimping right here, but since these scales were able to be removed and the inserts just kept, the jimping on the titanium one is on the blade, and on the aluminum Cerakote, the jimping is carried on like they were on the scales. Really neat. I mean, these knives feel like totally different knives wearing their new clothes, and they don't weigh more. They are not added a lot of weight to them because of that. It just makes them feel so much more stable, so much more solid. Um, they don't flex. There's no movement in them. There's no side to side. They're just tightly locked up. Fantastic knives. But again, a medium-sized knife that fits my hand just fine. I can choke up on it if I want to. I've got access to any grip style I want. It is going to be light. It is going to be easy to carry. Um, it's going to fit that same ultralight range that the Bug Out fits, right? I mean, that's kind of, as we look at some of these knives and compare them, let's get some size comparisons real quick with the Cold Steel 4 Max and the Civivi Baby Banter. So it's going to be smaller than the 4 Max and bigger than the Baby Banter. Let's take a couple of USA made knives like the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It's going to be smaller than the Paramilitary 2, and I think we're going to see that it's going to be right around the same size as that Benchmade Bug Out. So guys, to me, it's no surprise that Hogue was actually gunning for this slot, trying to get some of this market when they designed this knife, not to look like the Bug Out, not to copy the Bug Out, but to do a fresh rendition or their rendition of what they would like to have a Bug Out styled knife be. And I think they hit it out of the park. I think the materials that they use, irregardless of these scales, which are awesome, but if we went back to the G10 scales that were on here, you were still getting more value for the money, I felt, than you were from getting a Benchmade Bug Out. You were getting CPM 20CV instead of S30. Um, you're getting two knives that are made in America with very similar locking systems. And I could argue, and it's very subjective, that the Hogues that I've gotten have always had even grinds, have always been very stable knives, have always been very high performers, i.e., they don't need a lot of work, they don't need to be tweaked on much. But let's tie this up by getting a few measurements. And let me grab my Javon promotional free tape measure. Now I think these are going to be exactly the same size. We'll verify that. 7 1/4. Yep, 7 1/2. So the blade, 3, 3 1/4. 3 1/4. The handle is going to come in about 4.5. 4.5. So yeah, guys, they're right around the same size. Let's see what how thin they are behind the edge here by the thumb studs. 0.0955. 0.0955. Get down there behind the edge. 0.0265. 225, and then with these original goat scales, 0.43, 0.43. Let's see what these guys weigh. 3 ounces. 3 ounces. So guys, in a nutshell, that is the Made in USA Hogue Deka version 1. In my opinion, every bit as good as the Hogue Deka version 2. If you can find these still in stock, they'll save you several $20, $30 off of version 2. But the good news is, you get a version 2, you can get Magna Cut, you can get better steels. Don't overlook these knives. When you're looking at Benchmades, when you're looking at other small USA made knives, please don't overlook Hogue. Hogue puts out some fantastic products. Other companies are taking note, like Original Goat, and making fantastic, economical, affordable scales so you can absolutely outfit your knife and make it truly custom. And the fit and finish and the action has always impressed me with Hogue. And I really think that I'm going to carry these knives with a whole new vigor now. I mean, I really do see them spending a lot more time in pocket. With that, guys, I'm going to ask you one last time to please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell notification icon. Please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. And please go forward with love in your heart. And please choose debate, not hate. I love y'all. Peace.